Three sisters with stories to tell. Books in our hands, we know them well. Flipping pages where dreams dwell. Chapter one, here you go. Turn the light, let the words flow. Laughs and love in every show. Books, sweet hearts, we grow.
See how it is. I would be a pretty good
Oh,
Galentine.
well, if you could move down here, I'll give you a Galentine's every year.
Actually, was it just you and me? We were talking about how everything's down here, but like you guys are up.
Yes.
Ashley said that like Wednesday night after you hopped off, she's like, I keep saying down there, but like it's not.
Well, geography was my weakest subject, which
It
is
still is not great for me.
hilarious because I did maps, graphs, and charts, and I
So did I.
killed it. I was
Me
I
too.
was like, I can find some shit.
I can find some shit.
Honestly, it makes a lot of sense. Like, we are who we are, and we're good at maps, graphs, and charts because it
Yeah.
really is just
Yeah.
context clues. It's like,
For
can
real.
you
It's a
look in a
puzzle.
book?
Yeah.
It's
But
just a
now,
puzzle.
but trying to get somewhere or knowing which way is north, south, east, and west.
Yeah, no, I don't know.
I
what
have no idea
anything.
my cardinal
I'm actually-
directions.
I'm
I
actually
mean,
pretty decent at
Last
that part.
episode, I learned that Lubbock was in the Panhandle, and I definitely didn't know that.
It's
That one-
panhandle-ish. It's not quite. It's not in the panhandle. That's too high.
I mean, it's not Amarillo, but it's toward.
Amarillo by morning. Are you ready?
San Antonio. Everything that I got. Okay.
It's
Just what I got.
what I got.
Yeah, you can't stop in the middle.
I know. I was like, no way.
All
Chrissy's
right,
like, okay, I'm
welcome
done.
back. Welcome back.
Oh, God, you started doing that.
What?
Did you start while we were still singing?
Oh, did I?
Are you
I don't know,
recording
did you?
currently?
Oh, yeah, I was already recording.
Oh, okay, fine. So that's how our episode's going to be introduced.
I was just
Terrible
going to
singing.
cut it, but I can leave it.
Please put an auto tuner on that.
Yeah, I mean, mine was the worst. I went high. I don't know why I went high. Anyways,
Yeah.
welcome back to episode 3. 3. I'm already forgetting because I've been editing. I was like 7, 8 now. 3.
Pick number 3, my lord.
The Wren and the
The
Holly
Wren and the
Library.
Holly. And
There
this
you go.
time we doubled up the section because we just thought the book was too small to do 8 episodes of. And we got a lot. We got a lot, which was what I was a little bit afraid of. But even still, we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Anywho, I think let's jump right in before we have a 3-hour episode.
To
I like
the
it.
rapid recap.
We need to make a
Here we go.
jingle.
I'll work on that. I love jingles. I can come up with a jingle.
Yeah, let's workshop that.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to do it right now. Okay, so just so you don't forget that crap, let's listen to the rapid recap.
Love it.
Oh my God, I love that so much. God, none of us are medicated right now. This is great.
A Friday night recording.
Yeah, here we go. Okay, last time, Kira shared her story of Graves with Nate. It looks like it said Nat and Mara. Then she said goodbye to her friends and she left for the job. And then we had an interlude where our pal Declan, the Irish dude that tried to kidnap Kierce, interacted with Lorcan and told his history with Graves. There was a threat involving wildflowers where he decided he did not want to mess with Graves. He ran out of there. Kierce said, she just went around self-reflecting before she decided to go to Graves's brownstone. We learn more about the Men of Valor. They're the monsters that took her ex-girlfriend Tora. Back at Graves's home, we met his staff Edgar and Isolde. And Kierce negotiated with Graves. She learned that Lorcan and Graves have an agreement and he should leave her alone. She gets her wish of $10 million for this job. And gets half up front. She's going to use it to keep Ethan and Jen safe. And she's got guarantees from Graves that he will honor that if she dies, because she's kind of feeling like she's going to die. Graves is going to train Kierce in magic, mind, and body, and apparently spear use. And she has to stay there with him and keep his secrets. He suspects she can nullify magic, and that's what her powers are. And he has never, ever in his life, and we're guessing he's very, very, very old, met somebody with those powers. She begins training with Edgar, is not super great with a spear, kicks her ass, and she got her first reading assignment. So it's like school, and she had dinner with Graves. She looked kind of provocative. Her necklace, he tried to see the figure out. I was like, is it magical? No, but it's a good omen. The Wren. And he thinks she's a warlock like him, which is important. And he is a very powerful one. And she's going to be tasked with stealing a spear from the Men of Valor, which is why she needs to practice with a spear at the third floor during the winter solstice party. At the inn, Kierce sneaks out, of course, takes some money and a burner phone to Colette, and readies to do the same for Ethan and Jen. And that's the rapid recap.
And then
I
an
like it.
outro. Rapid recap.
Rapid recap. Don't forget that crap.
Love it.
What does crap have to rhyme with it? But you're not
Alright.
done with me yet.
Yes. What chapter did we start with?
Chapter 16.
Very good stuff.
So chapter 16, we left off leaving Colette's house, and Kierce went and met with Nate at a coffee shop that they always used to meet at. She wants his help keeping Jen and Ethan safe. She probably didn't have to, but she gave him like a bag of money and a burner phone for agreeing to help protect them. The burner phone, she can use her cell phone from Graves, but she doesn't trust Graves. So burner phone. She tells him of the heist, which is during a full moon, unfortunately. So he's going to be locked down with all his buddies, and he cannot provide any kind of backup. As if you remember, he's a werewolf, full moon bad. She goes back and sneaks back in, like, haha, I'm so sneaky. And she's like, feels satisfied that she has some more plans in place for her endeavors. It wasn't that a long chapter.
Yeah, that was pretty quick. I'm like,
Yeah.
I had a couple things highlighted, but no, covered it quickly.
All right. I don't know. Sorry. Okay. Chapter 17. In the morning, Chris was greeted by Graves, and she gets told that they're going out. Like, she's like, what? Okay. So they're driven by his driver, George, and they leave through a sneaky garage entrance that she did not discover in her recon. It shoots out like a few blocks over, which is smart.
Very
And
Batman-esque, which was
and it
funny
was-
because
Yeah.
you brought Batman up last week and Ashley
I
was
did.
upset about it.
I did. I called Edgar Alfred, and this was a very Batman entrance. I figured like a
Yep.
cave and like a spinny table thingy that comes up with a car on it, but I think it was just tunnels, unfortunately. So on the way there, they're discussing the ins and outs of thievings, exits, entrances. She talks about rats and how they make a way through, and like you don't know that they're there. He seems to find her perspective on things very interesting, like how excited she is about it. It turns out he's taking her to a hospital to be checked for a warlock gene, which seems weird as shit. This hospital, when they get there, is called the Covenant. Did you want to say something?
I do like they are still tying like real life into it. Like we haven't
Right.
read a book like that yet.
No,
It's like,
it's like
oh,
all
there's blood.
fantasy.
Yeah. You
Yeah.
know, it's like, yeah, why haven't we done this before? Someone pull their blood.
Can we get some labs done here? Like I think that'll answer the question. I do appreciate that. And the place is called the Covenant. The doctor is Dr. Emmeline. I wrote down Murphy. That doesn't sound right. Emmeline
Mafi.
Murphy?
M-A-F-I.
Why did I write down Murphy?
I don't know,
Anyways,
because she is also like Middle Eastern or
yeah, she has a
Indian or
hijab
something.
on, or
Yeah.
right.
So that would have been real funny.
Yeah, Dr. Mafi, who clearly has history with Graves, and she warns Kierce that she should not want to work for Graves, and she should not want to do this testing. Doesn't give her much more detail than that, but like, do you know what you're getting yourself into? Kind of talk.
Was anyone else like concerned at that point?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I was like, what the heck? I thought he was a good guy.
Yeah, it's like giving me government having all of our information about our periods and stuff vibes.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I mean, never trust an ex-lover.
What we do come to find, she is an ex-lover. But The hospital was started by a coven of witches. This is the first time we've heard of witches in this world. They have some magic, but they mostly use herbs and remedies. And the hospital that looks like it's for humans is a cover for them taking care of the supernatural community. They have a little bit of banter back and forth, and like it's like, why would you do that? But there's good and bad in every species. Is kind of what they agree on.
Miss you.
Thank you.
Gibbs was tired of being left out in the hallway and just barged his ass back in. Like you don't get privacy. And they did all of this extensive testing, including like pregnancy tests, everything. And it's going to be 1 to 2 weeks for results. So can't even expedite it for this dude. I mean, Kierce is obviously picking up on some vibes, and he does tell her that they were involved before she completed her medical degree, and she left. They always leave, he said.
Yeah, which is an
I thought-
interesting nugget.
Yeah, but I feel like he's the problem.
No, for sure. They always are.
Based on the little
but-
nuggets we're getting.
but it is interesting. They always leave. Yeah, it's
He has
just
a sadness
it's-
to him.
Yeah, obviously we'll find out more about that.
Yeah.
Interesting for sure. Why do they always leave?
Yeah. What you doing, dude?
Mm-hmm.
Why can't you keep him around?
Mm-hmm.
Who you with? Okay. Anything to add on chapter 17?
No, I think you
Mm-mm.
covered it.
Okay. Yeah. Cool beans. That's all I got then.
I did think I was gonna like her because like she
Right.
stood up to him and was very forceful.
Yeah.
Like, no, get out. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but
We're gonna get we're
we'll
gonna get a
learn
little
shortly.
interlude.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
don't like her, to say that off front. So, okay, chapter 18. So they return home, or to Graves's home, I should say. Again through the little tunnel, and we find out that Graves trades in knowledge for work. Which of course Kierce is like, "Oh, you were a spy," and he's like, "I used to be, but not for a long time." And essentially now he just kind of blackmails people. Like he learns
it
all the
sounded
things
like
he
to me
needs to know,
before.
and he uses it against them to get what he needs for the next little piece. Which, I mean, that's actually a legitimate line of work these days too. So
Yeah, I mean,
it's like, okay,
you know, espionage.
yeah. And so Kierce is just like, okay, well, good luck with work. I'm gonna go train. So she goes and she's training, and the next day it's, eat, train, sleep. And then the next day she walks in to train, and Edgar is not there, but Graves is, with his rolled up sleeves and on his button down and looking mildly sexy from her description. And we do find that the forearm tattoos, at the very least, are Ivy, for whatever that's worth. I don't know yet.
It is the binding of the book, in case we missed that, right? That's
Oh.
Ivy. The sprayed
I
edges.
don't have the
The sprayed
fancy book.
edges. No, that's Holly.
Yeah, see the little pointies that is on the front, Ivy? No, those are holly berries. Not Halle Berry. Holly berries.
So, of course, she is taken aback, and she's like, what are you doing here? And he is not pleased with her progress and doesn't believe that Edgar's style is going to work for her. And so he has decided to be her trainer for the day, at the very least. And he is going to incentivize her with an answer for any questions she may have for each successful hit that she makes on him with a spear. And the enticement is he shows her a sealed, unaddressed, white, invitation looking envelope. And so, of course, her first question is, what is that? And they have to spar until the first successful hit. And then she finds out that it is an invitation for a Montrell and Imani Cato union celebration. And Graves tells her that it will be a test for her. and elaborates no
That's another
more.
question. That's another question.
Yeah. So hit 2, he tells her that it is a test of her magic, and that's all he gives her. Hit 3.
Which,
Uh-huh.
that part while you're there, I'm trying to jump in so we don't have to jump in later.
You're good. I
Um,
like it.
he says, I already know you can walk through words or walking through mine every day. And she was like, was that bitterness in his tone? Like, he's so annoyed with her that she can
Oh, yeah, for
Like,
sure.
dismiss him.
Definitely. Bitter.
And he looked into her past, so he knows she's a good thief.
Okay, so hit 3, he gives her quite a bit more information. He says the test is threefold. 1, what are the limits to her power? 2, her reaction to large amounts of power over time
Yeah.
and at once, like while she's going to be there. And then 3, how she works under pressure while at another monster's home. So, that's fair. They're about to steal some unstealable thing. So, and she has no idea. No one has any ideas what her powers are. So, probably a good plan. And then hit 4. He clarifies that they will be stealing from them tomorrow. But the catch is that Kierce must go as his +1 as his pet.
Before this, though, he gets all nestled up behind her.
Yes. That's like the
To
first
get
where
her.
she's like,
Oh, I forgot about that.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
Little
He does the
electrifying
let me
touch.
physically show you how to thrust a spear.
The
Guides your
classic
body.
man behind the pool
Yeah.
table stick.
Let me help you.
Yeah.
And she's like,
Um,
why do I like this? Why do I like this? I
Mhm.
Yeah.
shouldn't like it.
I mean, I will say, like, I'm always surprised when she's surprised about things like that because she's clearly an adrenaline junkie. Like, of course you're into that. Like,
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
he's the biggest, baddest thing
forbidden.
around, and he's hot. Like,
And mysterious. She knows
Mhm.
nothing about him.
right. So, and so he does confirm that they'll be stealing from them tomorrow night. And when he informs her that she will have to go as his pet, she's not averse to this.
Right?
She's
Like,
like,
everybody else is like, every other book I
Right.
read, they're
Don't
like,
call
no,
me at that.
yeah,
no. She's like, okay.
She goes, that
I
sounds
like it.
very nice.
yeah. She's yeah.
She's a sub.
I am
Um,
liking like how like different but same this book vibe is, if that makes any sense.
I will say,
She's a
outside of her just surprise every time she's into something like dangerous, she is much more realistic than
Yeah.
some of the others in this kind of situation.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she's like, okay,
Like,
yep, nope.
I get it.
I'm not going to deny that one. Yep, totally own that. Like,
I
totally
could be
would
pretty
do
pissed
that.
about it, but no,
Yeah.
it's not worth being pissed
Yeah.
about.
So they are definitely like, she's trying to get more intel initially, but they're sparring and he flips her, like straddling her on the mat. And then he gives her more information without her actually getting in another hit. But they're in a very precarious situation as he's giving her this extra information that she will be at his beck and call and letting everyone assume they're in a physical relationship. And she's like, I can do that. And then like she's giving him all the flirty faces and whatnot, and kind of mesmerizes him enough to flip him on his back. She's like, oh yeah, I lived in a brothel before this. Like,
I'm having like a hard time because I don't picture her being seductive at all.
I
Right.
don't either.
Me
I was
too.
also
Okay, good.
thinking the
It's not
same
just me, so
thing.
I'm like,
I-
you know.
And I feel bad because like there's no reason that we should think she's unattractive or awkward in any
I don't think-
way.
I don't
But like I
think
just
that
don't
the
get the
author
vibe.
spent a lot of time building her character because it is a short book. So I think that's
Yeah.
probably why
Dove
we're really
in.
not tied to her in a lot of ways, except that she's just independent. That's pretty much
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. Okay, good. Well, at least we're
But
all on the
no,
same page about
yeah.
one thing.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
I'm
we
like,
did not
I
see
can't
her
picture
being
this.
seductive in any way.
Yeah.
And so then the last little piece of intel he gives her is that she will have to do all of this with no weapons. And she's like, oh, well, you can hide knives in a lot of places under her dress. And he's like, not with this dress. So we don't really know exactly what this dress is going to look like, but it's very clear that she won't even be able to hide a knife.
Yes, there won't be much of it.
Hannah, did it
I
give you like
was-
Feyre and the Night Court vibes? This dress that
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was
Sorry,
just going to
Ashley, you had to be
mention
there.
we did learn, just because it does tie, I didn't tie this in until we were just talking about it, but we did learn early on how she's able to adjust per like scenario, right? Where she can just like manipulate any situation. That is
True.
something that the author actually did elaborate on in the beginning. I think maybe it's just there was a lot of space in between our first section and the rest.
That's true.
I just didn't expect her to be like, because she seems very closed off emotionally, for her to be able to turn that on.
Yeah. No, for sure. It's hard to tell.
Well,
Is it how much of it is her turning it on and her actual attraction to him?
Her actual turn on.
yes.
Mm-hmm.
Because and like when she's thinking about like how much she would be okay with being his pet, she does have the thought like, yeah, the intimacy, don't want that. But the sex, like, I'm totally
Yeah.
here for all of that.
Yeah.
Which good on her for
True.
being able
She knows
to
what she
separate
wants.
the two.
Yeah.
Although something tells me that she is in the active state of denial in the opposite way of most people.
Probably.
Yeah. But also, like, she's never met somebody like him before either. So that's,
Because
typically
he's
how
one
it
of a
goes.
kind.
Yeah. And there's magic, right? The touches are electrifying.
It's electric.
It does something to her she's never
I love that you said that because that was running through my head. Like,
I don't even know. It's electric. That's all I know.
Oh, I was thinking
Anyways.
Grease.
It's electrifying.
Yeah.
oh, that's a good one.
Better shape up.
Dang, no, don't keep going. It's gonna be stuck in my head for a week.
I know, sorry. That was my favorite movie as a kid.
And
So.
the heart is set on you.
Sorry. But
Interlude.
before you jump in,
Oh my God.
I'm sorry. I was waiting to get here because I was just gonna say I do like the interludes.
I do
know
too.
we got
I
the
do.
first one, but I wasn't expecting a second one.
There's
so
one in every
And then
section.
we got another one.
I like
that
how
makes
she's
sense.
doing that. That's new
Yeah.
for this book too. But okay, I'm done.
It adds a
Are
little.
you sure?
Sums up.
Yes.
Okay. The interlude. Okay, we're good. So this is why we do not like Emmeline. So it is from her perspective. What?
In my head is when Emmeline, she's the reason for the word which.
Honest to God, like
My voice cracked, but you know.
I
love
never
that.
knew that that's what they said in the
No, they
line.
said they
it's
don't.
Caroline.
Oh, okay. I
But
was
it
like,
fits.
what?
Yeah.
I've never
Sorry.
heard Emmeline.
Continue.
Oh,
That's what my.
Dang, now that song's gonna be stuck in my head. Okay.
Yeah.
It's a singing that's a musical this week.
Yes.
We've
It's been a
literally
hard
sung
week
4
for us.
songs already, and it's been 25 minutes.
Okay.
Can't stop us now.
So it is very short, but we find out something very important. One, she does confirm that they were previously lovers. And I don't know about you guys, but I definitely got the sense that she's a little jealous
Extremely.
Kier's.
A little more than a little. It does not sound like she
I don't
likes
just
letting
one
him go.
I agree, but I can't decide if it. Okay, this is why we don't like Emmeline.
Emmeline.
So we have confirmed they were past lovers, and
she was his apprentice.
yes, but she doesn't tell us that. But that's
She
okay.
hasn't got there yet.
Oh.
It's
Sorry,
okay.
I was reading.
It's all kind of
she
part
was
of it.
speculating. She was speculating what Kier's was on that part. She's like,
Yes.
Kier's feeling girlfriend, lover, apprentice.
Mhm.
Gotcha.
Yes,
Yeah.
in her fit of jealousy. But the reason I say that I a little jealous is more so because I feel like some of her inner rage is more toward Graves because she makes the comment that he released her as he did all the others, and given her enough money to weather the worst of the storm that blew in. So like,
Yeah, which is good.
no, you're good. I was gonna say, it's like clearly the very opposite. That face
Right.
wasn't actually for you. It was for what I was about to say, but I'm glad it worked twofold.
Yeah, because like she's saying that he let her go, but he's saying she left.
He's saying they
Yes.
always leave. She's saying he always relinquishes them,
Yeah.
which we get a little bit more later too.
Agreed.
But it's interesting the different perspectives because, like you said, it did still feel like genuine when he said they always leave. It's almost
It's like
like
he-
right.
he's letting them have the opportunity to leave
And
and then
then they
upset when they
leave.
leave.
And
Yeah.
he doesn't fight for them.
Yeah.
That's what I'm getting.
Yeah. He's very much like, it's almost like he's testing them
Yeah. That's
to
the vibe
see
I
if
got as
they
well.
if they fight for him or not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then the reason we really, really strongly just dislike her to the nth degree is so she is studying the results of Kyrce's blood, and we find out that she is now unwillingly, to whatever extent, in cahoots with King Louis, the leader of the vampires and men of valor. So, like as she's kind of saying this, I need to know why you're laughing.
Having the hardest time not singing. It's the Jungle Book now. I'm the king of the swingers, so I'm the king of the jungle VIP. King Louis.
Oh my goodness, I support it, honestly.
Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna add Fridays into the rotation, and how many songs can we create out of comics?
Yes. As she's looking at this, she's like, she has to get out her phone and text King Louis, insert Christie's internal musical dialogue. And she tells him, I think I found something. And his response is a match question mark. And so we don't know what the heck that is. They do not explain like what he's looking for or what. But she tells them possibly, but I'll need time to determine if it is a fit for you. And he tells her, I'll send someone for what you have now. Keep enough to do your research. I'm counting on you, Emmeline. So,
What does it mean? What does it mean?
yeah, like that's all we know. And she gives us her sob story of like, he is like blackmailing her to some extent. Like, we don't know why or how or but that
We can assume it has something to do with Graves.
I'm
I
sure.
think that's true. Yeah.
And
Well, because she says like he's always her crux. Like all of
Yeah.
her issues like are
Like
because
the
of
bane
him.
of her existence.
Yeah.
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 And she does consider destroying the blood and everything else she had on her because it would be safer, but she knows that if she does that, she will die. And she doesn't want to die. And I mean, I guess I can't blame her for that. Like, you can only do what you can do. But, like, damn, there was
Yeah,
no
she tried to
way.
justify it too. Like I tried to talk her out of it. Like I told her she wouldn't have any privacy with it. Did I tell her that I was going to give her blood to a crazy vampire man? No.
Right.
And I feel like that could turn out
Yeah.
really bad. Like, what if he can send her?
Yeah.
Right? Like,
Especially once we get through my section because I
Yeah.
go more into all of him. But yeah, this was interesting. Now that we're talking about it again, like I'm like, don't know how to feel because you
Yeah.
dislike her for being, behind this, but also you have empathy because she's clearly
Right.
scared.
this is a world, obviously, where you have to look out for yourself.
Yeah.
And would Kyrce have done anything different?
But now I'm like, okay, but why did she go so hard at Graves? Like, he was the problem.
Right.
Was it her jealousy or is there something more there?
I
He
mean,
brought her
there
there.
definitely there has to be more there, like especially if she's in this predicament because her perception of how things ended, like of him leaving her
Well,
versus
and just to clarify, what I mean is when she's trying to convince her not to do this,
right,
it's because of Gray. Like, she makes it like
right,
him, not anything else.
yeah,
Yeah. I think that she was thinking like, you don't want to do this for lots of reasons,
Mhm.
but that was the reason she could give her.
Yeah.
Like, how does she say she's in cahoots with the Vampire King? Like, that would obviously, because then it would get back to Graves, and it does not
Mhm.
seem like he
Well-
knows. I don't think he would cooperate with her, like work with her if he knew she was in with him.
right. Well, so and two things. One, anybody else find it ironic that this place is called the Covenant and she literally broke it? Like all the
Yeah,
symbolism
right?
behind that. But two, if she were honestly that worried and felt that bad for Kierce and having to give this over
coulda told her.
to well, she could even though she hates Graves,
She could have told him.
she could have told him.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm confused because then she's like, oh, I might not even, I could just get rid of it. But I'm like, well, you should have just said it in the first place that, hey, I'm compromised.
Yeah.
The lab's
See,
broken.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
So
I'm interested to get more info just because
I'm sure she'll come
there's
back
a
around.
lot of angles here.
Yeah.
yeah.
And there's just like we're stacking up enemies. So we
Mhm.
go.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Anything else?
I don't
Okay.
think so.
Okay. So part 3, the immunity, which I don't know if you
That-
can see it on what side
It's
you
a
can see
pretty
it on.
it's a pretty little hourglass.
Whoop, whoop, whatever. But I find it interesting that that's the representation of the immunity to
Time's
use
ticking.
to use a
I
timer
didn't even
that is
think
out.
about that.
Like the timer is out too, FYI.
Yeah.
We'll have to wrap
you're
that theory
out of
when
time.
we move into the next,
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I'm not placing that.
Well, after the last section, I'm looking like at everything now. But so chapter 19 is Kierce getting waxed, plucked, puffed, pitted, all of the things to the nth degree by Isolde and her team, and we don't know exactly what the dress looks like still, but she has confirmed that there is absolutely no way she's hiding anything in this dress.
If you could call that thing a dress.
Yeah. And so Jeeves gives her a fur-lined coat or jacket. And she's in a 4-inch heels, which I also don't like. I felt bad for her in 4-inch heels because back in the day when I wore heels every day, all the time, like that was what I wore. 4-inch heels still like it takes
It's
a
so
practice.
impractical.
Like,
Yeah,
and you're
that's
going there on a
tall.
mission,
Yeah.
Like, why
Like,
aren't
and
they
I'm-
convertible heels or something?
right? And like,
Use your
I don't
magic.
know. Imagine how, like, if Hannah wore 4-inch heels, that's different than if Chrissy or I wore 4-inch heels. We have bigger feet because we're taller. Like, so if she's short,
Mhm.
I can't even imagine. Wild, but whatever. And so she gets all gussied up and she walks out and is going to go downstairs and she sees a light coming from a room that was previously locked up. And she has the internal thought of like Jeeves and I can't remember his name, but
Edgar.
Edgar. That's right, Aristocats.
Creme de la Edgar.
Yes. And it's old, like they were always kind of like avoiding that space, always like kind of shuffling her out of that area. So she clearly understands that it's Graves's area, but she's never actually seen in it. So she's like, oh, there's a light. I'm going to wander over there. And she kind of knocks on the door and she's like, Graves, are we going to leave soon? And it's like dead silent. And so she waits. Yeah.
She says here, there was a stillness on the other side as if Grace had even stopped breathing at the knock. So just adding in some more.
Yeah.
We're getting to the
Yes.
smut part sometime soon. She's dropping the crowds.
The interest is definitely building
Yeah.
on both ends. And so she almost goes to knock again and he just like whips the door open out of nowhere. And like he just is staring at her. He's checking her out. She's checking him out. And I even have it written like the tension is officially rising. Like they're both realizing that they're into each other and it's not just, magic or the circumstances. They're both hot and they know it. So he decides to usher her to the car and they're going to the airport. And she's not exactly thrilled. She's never flown before. One, she was on the streets for X amount of years, but then once the monster wars started, pretty much everything was grounded. And so it was for the rich or for no one, pretty much.
Yeah.
And so they get in the car and he has brought her a new book for their travel. And he tells her that it includes the best story of the Wren, since she has an affinity for the Wren. And it's called The Oak and Holly King. So interesting. And he's like,
For
and
our readers, because the second book is Oak and the Robin or something.
the Robin and the Oak King.
Yes.
So we're getting the dark story now, and supposedly we'll be getting the light story next. We shall see.
There she is.
Robin on the oak throne. Close. There's oak and there's Robin.
So and she does actually internally officially acknowledge that the holly is specifically Graves's symbol. I can't remember why
Here?
in this
I thought that was in my
Yeah.
chapter. Where does she
Oh
say
no,
it?
here it
No.
is. 127.
It's everywhere on his property and his warding in the library that took it as its namesake.
So it says,
They do talk about symbols more though, Hannah, down the line.
yeah.
Like he's
Yeah.
not saying this, she's observing it.
No, yeah, but in mine too, she specifically says maybe that like mine's more the solidified. Okay.
Yeah, so it's like right after he tells her the name of the story and she's like, interesting, because Wrens are one thing, but Holly has
Yeah.
always been his symbol. So and then they get to the airport and of course it's a private jet, and Graves actually calls her Wren, which we find out they did agree that they weren't going to call her by her name in front of all these people, but she makes the connection that she is
She really
somehow
likes it.
enthralled. Well, it's interesting that how she says it, that she is enthralled by it, and like she takes strength from the command in his eyes. Like some of it's like I can't tell, like, is there something else in play, or is she just really that
Right. No, same. I
hardcore
can't.
attracted to him? Like I find
Yeah.
it hard.
They seem to get each other on a level that is not like
Right.
forthright. Like,
Yeah, I can't figure out which is which, or if they really are just that compatible, but I don't know. Hopefully we'll find out which it was.
Well, and we know like rent is going to be important. And
Yeah.
for her to, like you said, say like she's enthralled with this, like it does make it sound like there is a deeper, like magical connection.
Right. So they get on the plane and he tells her, they have last minute details about the heist to discuss, which she's super excited about, and it also kind of helps take her mind off all of the anxiety from this flight, which is probably good because he does not have service on this flight, which
He
she's
does not
surprised
like
about.
people.
Yeah, he's like, I don't like people. Haven't you noticed? It's like, well, I feel like that's different. Like, I don't like
Yeah.
people either, but if I had a private jet, bet your ass I've got service. Like, different.
Which
But-
LOL on the way back.
Yeah. So this is what we find out for the last minute details. So Amani and Montrell are both warlocks. Amani is the stronger of the two when it comes to the particular kinds of magic and strength. And she has the power to grant wishes, which nowadays are mostly sexual type wishes, which they go through this whole conversation because she's like, that seems like assault, which she's not wrong. I was thinking the same thing. I was like, excuse me. Like,
Foreshadowing.
yeah. But he does clarify, like, all parties must be receptive to whatever this wish is. I don't know. And so it's not assault. So kudos for explaining that. But he does lend to the idea that it was not always such quote unquote harmless wishes and whatnot that she used her powers for. In Montrell, he says that he has multiple kinds of powers, but the only ones that he goes into detail on is that he has perfect recall.
I mean, like memories. Could he
Yeah.
remember anything? I don't understand. Okay. Or is
Yeah.
it like, come back to me? Like if he something's over there, I'm gonna recall it.
That would be cool. But no, I think it is like it's almost like he has an eidetic memory, which I thought was weird to be called a power because like humans have that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're trying to make him special and he's not.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Kind of.
On that same note, though, just to mention, when she says like "and her husband," he clenches his fist.
We don't
Yes.
know why.
Yes. Which dirty details on that later.
But even
and-
still, it's interesting.
Yeah, it
like
is.
that doesn't
Yeah.
even make
He-
sense.
he was
to me,
reactive.
knowing- Yeah.
Yeah. There's
But-
there's a lot of like undertone in this that like
Mm-hmm.
this book is not long enough to give us all the details that I want.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Same.
Like I
I'm
want a few
struggling.
chapters on some of this past with some of these characters. I'm like, hold up. Like we need to dig way further into this.
Maybe book 2.
Maybe. So, but Graves does very specifically state that no one is as powerful as he is. But she makes a point to be like, but he doesn't say it with arrogance. Like it's just a fact. So that could be true. Or maybe she's even more powerful than he is, but she just hasn't come into her powers. You never know. But the last thing that we find out is that they will be stealing letters of what content we do not know. He does not share. And I guess at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter.
For our listeners, note this. What's in these letters? Will they help us get the spear? Once we complete the mission, I will have a much better understanding of how to proceed with the spear.
Yeah.
It will come back.
Yep. And then they look at maps of the house.
And her
Which
gown
is
is thin as vellum with 2 predators. One at her front, one at her back.
And for those of you that don't know how thin vellum is, it's that nice stuff that you see through on very, very pretty invitations.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God.
It's the stuff that sits on top of the invitation that you can clearly read the invitation through.
Leaves little to the imagination.
Yes. So, chapter 20, they touch down in Chicago and head to the big glass house on the hill. I don't know if it's on a hill, but
It is.
It sounded like it was, yeah. On the top
on
of the
top
hill.
of that hill.
nice.
Yeah, you're
And
good.
she's obviously just admiring it and its beauty. It's like a big, magnificent mansion. So they enter, they have a little moment where he touches her back and he's like, okay, don't forget, or grabs her ass or something. Like, here we go. We're
He tells
acting
her,
now.
remember your role.
Yeah, there you go.
Very
So they
close to her ear.
enter, and the first thing she notices a large oak tree in the back of the room. Dun, dun, dun. What did we think about that?
It was so odd and so out of place because they literally like don't bring it up ever again.
Yeah, but just throwing that out there. Large
Maybe
oak tree.
the symbolism, though, like, the lightness in the dark, that, like, I think we'll have multiple parties that align with the
Gotcha,
holly and
both.
multiple
Yeah.
parties that align with the oak, presenting, like, just symbolizing that they're
Yeah.
more the lighter, the springtime,
Yeah.
the fun,
Which
Yeah.
would make
happy-go-lucky,
sense
and then the darkness.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's an
with-
interesting
like,
point.
with how their opening interaction goes, like that would make sense.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And again, different than most books. I feel like it's like you're this one thing or this one thing. It's not
Yeah.
accumulation. Anywho, so Montrell and Amani are sitting at the back, just observing the party. Everybody is dancing around seductively. It didn't seem like too orgy style-esque yet, but
Yeah.
that's just my take. So
Not yet.
It's still early.
she can't help but stare, which Graves notices. He's like, "Stop your staring." And she's just like, "Well, you didn't tell me how beautiful they were."
Both.
Both, yeah, both
That is
were.
significant.
And he says, I did once as well, ... So that's more intrigue on this whole relationship. So we've got the s- squinty hand is what I was about to say, the fisted hand. and
I don't even know where to go with that.
yeah.
I love that. Okay.
So Kier's disrobes. She takes her jacket off, and everybody stares at her.
She makes
And
a
she's
big show of it,
a
seems. Like
big
she's
show.
milking it.
Yep. It is this, gorgeous gown. It's barely covers her privates. Yeah.
Her nipples are covered with diamonds or whatever. Like there's diamonds that
Yes.
keep her
In
nipples
her
from being in her
vag
hoo-ha,
area.
but just barely.
And another
yeah.
one, yeah.
Yeah. And Graves is clearly affected and is also taking her in, which then I was like, wait, did they not see each other beforehand?
No, she was in her coat.
No, she had her coat on.
I
Because
was
I thought
thinking
the
she had her
same
coat on
thing.
afterwards.
No, she
He probably
put
picked it
coat
up
on
though and it was
before.
picturing it.
Yeah. So yeah, he is very much lost in the sauce, staring at her.
She describes him as a stalking predator right before the lunge.
Yeah.
Like he was still
blown out
like
pupils.
wanted to reach out and claim her. So now we're starting to
Yeah.
get in a possessive mode.
Mm-hmm.
Which we like.
We're here for it.
Kier's in her head about how her irresistible interest in him again, and the line between acting and reality is blurring. And that's the end of chapter 20.
I like it.
This is where he squeezed her ass. It closed out chapter 20 with an ass squeeze.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the look, she says the look he gives her unmade her. Like how he's looking at her. She's falling apart. Falling apart.
Which a perfect opportunity to do so, because you can hide behind it was all an act.
Yep.
Yeah, she's
It's for the
supposed
show.
She's supposed to be that level.
So chapter 21, Amani is shocked to see Graves. We learn that it has been 50 years since they've seen each other, but 150 since they've been on good terms.
Yeah.
So we got
And,
a little D here.
Can I just say, kudos to her? Because, she had no real idea. She knew that he was much older than, she had an idea, but, to learn.
And not react.
Yeah.
Yeah, again, just her reactions to things you would typically be like him, even there being magic, and now him being 150 years old. She's just, again, we talked last time, maybe it's the monsters have, everything else after that is just okay.
Well,
but she really has no reactions
in
to
this
the big
moment,
things.
I was like, I compartmentalized probably too well, but to be on her level, that's wild. I'm kind of here for that. Goals.
Yeah, it's
goals.
very
Maybe she's
much
a Capricorn.
Maybe.
So,
Oh, wait. Actually.
Winter Solstice, she is a Capricorn, right? Wait, was she born on Winter
that was the
Solstice? That was
other book.
That was the other
book.
That she was Halloween. I was thinking the same thing. I was like, isn't she born on Christmas? But no. Keep going. Sorry.
That was Camilla.
Yeah.
So we don't learn about what this issue is or what their actual history is. We just kind of go into it. He introduces Kier's to them as Wren, which gets a shock factor from them. So
especially Montreal.
Yes.
Wren, really?
I think he had bulging eyes or something.
Yeah.
And they banter a bit between the three of them.
Real quick though, Montreal says, so she is yours then. So that's indicative that there have been Wrens before.
Through gritted teeth.
Yeah. Like
Oh,
maybe
so
that is
there's
like how
more.
he claims his lovers.
Yeah,
Like
That's
there's
a
that
good
they're his
more to
theory.
Wren.
this
Yeah.
term of
That
endearment or whatever.
yeah, I was thinking it kind of like all other stories, right? We're waiting for this long lost lover, and it's the Wren, and that's
Yeah.
her, and not that there was multiple. So again, glad we
Yeah,
have this podcast.
Maybe. She's
which makes
reincarnated or
sense.
something.
Like, if he's seen as the Holly King,
Mm-hmm.
then it makes sense that he would call his lovers the
Wren.
Wren,
Mm-hmm.
or
No, that's interesting. No, that has been like my loose theory along that it's
Yeah.
like they know each other, they've just been somehow separated, or like she's lost all her memories because she has no memories
She's
before.
old. Yeah.
Whatever. That's kind of what I've been telling, and they've just like now they're finally finding each other again.
Maybe.
I didn't even no. I like that theory more. Anyhow, one of them asks if it's her girlfriend, which they laugh at the idea about. Clearly he has quite the reputation of discardment.
yes.
So I hope he doesn't call them all Wren. But we also learn in this whole interaction that the gloves definitely serve some purpose. Amani's wanting to read him through his hands, essentially, whereas he would then read through Kier's or Wren. So,
Yeah.
some type of memory touch reminds me of the Volturi. A little bit, but
Mm-hmm.
so they are wondering why he is here and he's like, well, you sent me an invite. He's like, that's just a formality. You haven't
Yeah.
shown up ever.
Yeah, bitch, you thought you were actually invited.
Yeah. And then finally they get out of them that he has some business, and they're like, of course, there's always something with this man. And he sends Kierce away for some punch to go snoop in a very go fetch and get out. The adults need to talk. Yeah. But again, her willingness to just kind of be dismissed in these. And she does make a comment how Amani is like, because she snaps back at her a little bit. And they're like, I'm surprised you allow her to do that.
Yeah. It's because Amani was like, good for a few fucks. And she said,
yes.
and Kier said, maybe he's only good for that many. And there it was like, oh, Montreal liked it. Like, oh, she's a little feisty. But Amani was like, I'm surprised like you let her speak to her. I'm surprised you let her speak out like that at all. So I have a feeling it was not the
did
case.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, I'm intrigued to learn more about this man. Like, because I'm not getting that vibe right now on his possessive or like master.
But
Yeah.
I think he indicates a little bit that something broke him. We haven't gotten there yet. I think
Okay.
it's in one of my chapters.
Okay.
But I think that something broke him along the way.
Drama.
So yeah, they share just some more banter, building their desire for each other. And she goes
So
off.
one thing that I think I did us a disservice because I didn't bring this up in detail from the plane conversation that I probably should have. He does tell her that Imani is able to transmute her power into the physical form, into like a powder,
Oh, yeah.
and that it's going to be added to the punch.
Yeah.
And so like it's important that she not drink the punch, because while they're trying to test that like what level of immunity, like they don't want to chance it or whatever. So he's like, absolutely don't drink the punch.
Yeah.
But don't worry, because I'm going to be there.
Yeah.
Which of course, like that's part of the problem, right? Like because if you're drinking like punch that's basically like X
Laced.
yeah. So when he tells her to go get them some punch, like there's also that added undertone of she
Like it's obviously like, hey, go do the thing.
Yeah.
because she's not going to go drink
Well,
the punch.
Well, no,
Or,
not
like,
even that, but
yeah.
like the sexual undertones that are to be expected to come.
Right. It's
yeah.
time to play up
Yeah.
the role.
True, true.
So, moving to the next chapter, she goes off to get the punch, quote unquote, and then starts sneaking around through the
Squirrel.
rooms, picking locks, etc. She gets into one which is just lined with crates, which she finds interesting, but not what she's looking for. So she moves on. She is able to unlock the second door, but not go in because of the crowd. So then she slips back over to Graveside, and they're finishing up their business chat. She is pretending to be drunk, off at the punch, obviously, and asks him to go dance. And they put on quite the show for Montrell and Amani and themselves, I would
Good
imagine.
job, Hannah. You're doing so good with names today.
I know.
I really am working on it.
So proud of you.
Because I didn't spell that right. I put Monrell, and I was like, that doesn't look right.
There's a T in there, I think.
They are both very much turned on by each other. And again, going back and forth on this reality actor line on, and he, to the point where he's like, did you actually drink the punch? Which I thought was actually funny. I said, LOL. And then they have a couple
Time out.
innuendos back and forth.
No, don't skip that part. This
Okay.
is the fun part.
for
When
it.
she's like, I did everything you told me to. And he leans in and she's like, and he goes, would you do everything I
Mhm.
told you? And she says, everything and more.
Mm-hmm.
And then he has
Yeah.
to clear his throat. Like he's very
I
clearly
don't think
like,
he expects her. Like, I don't think he
Yeah.
expects this from her at all.
Mm-mm.
Like,
apparently he also had the same understanding of her as we did and was not
Yeah.
expecting
okay.
her to excel so
Mhm.
quickly at the art of seduction.
Yes.
I think he expected her to cower a little bit under this kind of like.
Yeah.
It reminded me of the scene from Throne of Fallen when they're in the cabin and he's like, you're dreaming. She's like, no, I'm not.
Oh, bitch. Joke's
Like a
on
little
you.
game. Yeah.
So they use this allure affection to sneak off to the room to snoop/canoodle. And as soon as they go off to the hallway where these rooms are at, and he says they're being watched, so he, pushes her into the corner, and he's like, "Are you?"
darn.
Asked if she's a siren. She's like, "Who are you? Are you a siren, luring me to
I
my
think-
death?"
Yeah, I feel like he meant that. Like,
I
I
do
am
too.
surprised
100%.
I'm very surprised by my allure to you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And again, going back to like, he's also caught off guard by her and her sexual nature with him specifically.
Mm-hmm.
He's like,
And her response is, "Are you lured?"
Yes. I love
I think he's
that.
a little
I was
bit
like,
lured.
Get it?
So I'm loving the banter. They finally are able to enter the room, which is Amani's study. And they quickly turn it off, and Graves is like, okay, I'm watch out. You kind of rummage. And she's looking, and then all of a sudden Graves is right in front of her, like eating her alive. And they share their first kiss. It's very possessive, demanding, alpha, mine. So she is
It was an
fully
awakening.
entrenched. Yes, she, I'm sure, is lost in the sauce.
She
And
says
that's
here
when
was
Amani
eternity.
comes in.
I couldn't tell, like at first, like if he was just like, shit, I gotta do this, or if there was somebody coming. Like I had a feeling somebody was
Right,
coming.
me too.
At the
I
same
was
time,
like,
like
is somebody
kind of
gonna
like
come?
he's kind of like curses under his breath, and like
Mhm.
that he just wanted to, and he was gonna act on it. I felt like it
Yeah.
was a mix of both.
I
didn't-
was the same thing. I was like, okay, because it could, yeah. He's like, okay, I've
Yeah.
lost all control. Here we go.
Might as well.
Yeah, through the most important part of what we're supposed to be doing here. But no, Amani does walk in.
Yeah.
Yep.
She does.
Next chapter, Amani offers a bedroom instead. She's like, well, this is my personal study.
I like how he's like, you know why I like my books.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like my
They
books
really
like I like
turned
my
me
women
on.
staff.
Yeah. So yeah, it's a quick encounter, and she just like basically, okay, this is off
Get the
limits.
fuck out.
Get out. Yeah, and they do. So Kears can very much tell she does not trust Graves, and they just make their way back to the dance floor. So they're out there for a while, it seems like, until Kears decides, okay, I'm gonna go explore again. You go finish up your business, and I'll take that time to go back into the room. And she's just kind of relaying her experience and all of that, and how she was watching Amani, and she clearly did not want them in there, which means this has to be the place where they're
Yeah.
looking for, and how she, more than once glanced at bookshelf. So she's very confident that that's where she needs to be hunting. And she does. Good.
Oh, I was gonna say, like, their interaction when she starts to walk away, she blows him a kiss, and he calls her back, and he kisses her.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
Mhm.
it's more than playing into this role that they're supposed to be playing. Like, that
No,
was
to
like,
be
I need to do
honest,
this.
I didn't read any of this as if they were playing.
I
Yeah,
really
it
didn't
doesn't
either.
seem like they are.
It didn't give
No.
It
the
comes too
acting
naturally.
vibes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And
Well,
just like
yeah.
we were already dropping the desire beforehand. So it's
Yeah.
more just like, okay, we can act on it without anybody, we have
Right.
full reign here.
Well, and like, she isn't like, she leaves nothing to the imagination of, is it real or not? Because she said her head went fuzzy all over again. She was gonna have to masturbate after all of this.
Oh,
Like,
yeah. I forgot that part.
like,
Yeah,
so
she's like, but let's go find this secret.
yeah, we don't have anything from Graves' perspective about needing to like shake one out, but we
I'm sure.
definitely
Mhm.
know that
I
she's
hope we get a good
100%.
chapter or two of his
Yeah.
like more
I'm just kind of
internal
worried that
thoughts.
he is playing her because he needs her for a purpose.
Yeah, I guess that's a good point.
Like, in
I don't know
Ready to
why
Get
right now I'm like
Together,
blinded that he's good.
Yes,
Nope, I
but
don't.
no, like she was in before like there was any kind of like she had already agreed. There's no need to have the sexual connotation in that to get her to be cooperative because she's already cooperating
That's
without it.
true. She's getting $10 million. That's
I mean,
that's
like,
pretty fair.
and she made it very clear that she's basically desperate to make sure that her friends are safe
Yeah, are
and taken
safe.
care of, even if she dies.
Yeah.
Like, and she knows going in and tells them, like, I already know that, like, as soon as I walk through here, I could die.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
so I am going on the hope and dream that he's not faking it, but I do have a feeling that at least one of his past relationships that we have already heard about is going to come back to bite him
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
somewhere
Okay.
through the rest of this book.
For sure.
For sure.
So she finds the
She's
secret
at the
door.
bookshelf.
So she pulls the bookshelf and voila, it opens. And she's like, oh, I've never witnessed this before. And that's the end of the chapter.
Yep. She's excited to have found her first
But she says
secret
she's
passage.
never seen a secret passage, which is kind of surprising.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
As a thief.
yeah.
Clearly, they're
seems
not
very-
creative.
Yeah.
Now everybody has one in their home.
I mean,
I wish.
I
that
mean,
would
me
be
too.
so cool.
All right. So the secret door leads into a staircase going down, and she enters a secondary space that has clearly been here a longer time. It's built, out of stone. And she's like, yeah, clearly this was here, and they just built this glass house on top.
Mhm.
So she's going down. She can hear noises. She does clarify it doesn't sound like voices, just some weird noises. So she's not super cautious or off guard, whatever. You get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So
Stealthy, like she's
words
not
are hard.
Yeah.
Thank you.
She's not super worried that she's about to get caught.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she opens a door and she finds hundreds of people in there cutting, packaging, and creating red powder, which we know to be the wish powder. And she's
Yep,
like,
they just
well,
got
that's
a
weird.
drug packing ring down in the basement.
Yeah, literally. It's like a sweatshop down there.
Yeah, that's the word. Yeah, good job.
And yeah, not what she expected, also not what she's here for. So she quickly closes that door and heads down the secondary path, and says she's walks for quite a bit, and she finally runs into a big old bank vault, which
Not supposed to be there.
not supposed to be there. She is excited that it's old because she's like, okay, I can get into this because again, she has no tools. We get a little bit, like I think literally 2 sentences about kind of her history and her training with Jason, who broke her
He's a
arm
complete
once when
dick.
she got it wrong.
Yeah.
Just
So
a dick.
And punched her like hardcore in the face for something or other.
Literally, she said punched
Yeah.
him. He punched her through her face, is what he
Yeah.
said.
Yeah.
I mean, she said when she was describing that.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Oh, that was wild. I hope we meet this Jason guy and that she gets to kill him.
I thought she did kill him.
No, she just left.
We'll table that. I
Yeah.
thought. Okay.
Maybe. So she's noticing wards along the vault with little birds. And at this point, I'm like, is it a robin? Which we find out later it's not, but.
It was the same as on the wax seal of the invitation, though.
Mm-hmm. And this is what I was talking about. So she deduces that each of them must have a specific ward. So Graves is definitely Holly.
Yeah.
This also does not have any security like Graves situation where they assume the wards will be enough. So she's, again, not worried about cracking this safe. So Italian job vibes. She's talking to us about how to crack a safe, putting your ear up into it or drilling it. This is the second part we get where she's reminiscing on how she had drilled, missed it, and when that happens, it's a faulty, whatever. And then Jason, punched her in the face. She got caught by the police, and he was like, "Oh, use it as a figure out how to get out of the police station, how to escape."
Yeah. Another training tool.
Yeah. She mentions how she's freezing down there in the basement, especially given that she's wearing next to nothing, and she wishes that she had some fire in her veins. And then she starts cracking the vault, and she gets it open fairly easily, and white powder sprays everywhere. And it gets all over her. She ingests it immediately, and she's not sure what that was because we know the wish powder to be red. But she just keeps on going. She takes in this treasure trove. There's gold bricks and jewels and money and all the things you would imagine in this big vault.
She said it's like Alibaba's treasure trove.
Yeah. So she starts noticing she's getting really hot and sweating, and she's
Careful what you wish for, girlfriend.
She quickly realizes something is not right and she needs to hurry along and get back to Graves. And she mentioned she had wished for heat and now she was ablaze, feeling like she's about to burst into ash. But she does locate the box of envelopes, and that's where my chapter ends.
Well, and she does have one thought of maybe magic did work on her.
Yeah.
So dun dun.
Dun dun dun. Yeah.
All
I have
right.
it.
Sorry.
Okay, take it away, Weird. Okay, chapter 25. So Kierce has the envelope in her clutch and she's left the vault. She's trying to make her way out of there when she hears Montrell speaking with someone up above her. When she reaches the stairs, she overhears him saying that they're sending wish powder with Graves, which is a really risky move. They obviously don't trust him, but he's like wanted to do this business with them. They came down and she kind of like hid herself all the while really melting. And they walked by and went to the other chambers where they were doing the sweatshop stuff. She gets out to the office, does not close the bookshelf door all of the way. And as soon as she steps out of the room, she's met by a creep that's like, "You look like I could take advantage of you." And then tries to, like, she's in a very bad state at this point. Um, but thankfully, Graves is like, hell no. And it protects her. And he scoops her up in his arms like a hero right before she completely loses consciousness.
Yeah. My Wren, he says.
My Wren.
My
That's
Wren,
nice.
are you okay?
My Wren.
That was cute.
Wait, I didn't think he said that there because I wrote it down.
Yeah, you did.
No, I messed
It's
that
at the
up.
very. It's on the last page.
Yeah. My Wren, are you okay?
I did also highlight, like, when Montreal was talking, the other party was like, "Are you suspicious?" And he said, "Of everything he's ever done in his life."
Yeah.
So, some character building
He has
there.
broken their trust.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's all I had.
Yeah.
To add.
And what did she
I
say?
will-
She says about being hot. I wanted to be
Oh,
hot,
everybody.
and now I am.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I do want to add one thing because I know we're not the biggest fans of Amani or Montrell yet. We may not be, but the one thing is like they were very insistent that like these parties are all like full on consensual. So what this guy was doing is absolute balls to the walls wild. And
Mhm.
Graves even says that like you should learn to respect a woman's answer. And the guy's like, "Oh, we were just having fun and dressed like that." And he's like, "If you
Oh, I
say
was so
that
proud.
if you say that she was asking for it, I will rip your throat out with my bare hands." And the guy's like, "Whoa, whoa,
if-
whoa. No harm, no harm." And he's like, "This is a clear violation of the rules of the party. This will get back to the goddess." And the guy like pales, like it's a huge deal. So
Yeah.
like I do just want to give props to like that's not how this is done.
I
But
love
also,
in the
like, the
books.
fact that she wrote him that way. That, like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's what you want men to do. Like, no, stop. Don't, like,
Yeah.
not feed into
Yeah.
that narrative. Loved it.
I was just about to say, I love when we read the male characters, when just like the last one, I was like, same thing. When there's clearly unwanted, they're like, "I will literally kill you."
Hell
Yeah.
no. Like,
Yeah.
not cool.
Yeah.
Never.
It's not
And
that
you
hard
like
to find
read
a
it in
willing
a way like they would have
participate.
done that for anybody, not just their
Yeah.
person of interest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. I agree.
That was
Anything
it.
else? No. Okay. Chapter 26 wakes up back on the airplane and she's vomiting all over the place. And this is when, if you remember,
Yeah.
I think Ashley was like, he's going to wish he has service on the plane. He wishes he had service on the plane because
Yeah.
he's cleaning up her vomit. He gives her an antidote for the powder she inhaled, which he already had on this person, so he had anticipated this. And he's like, "Man, you must have ingested a lot of wish powder." And she's like, she's struggling real bad. She tells him that she got the envelopes, but she had to break into a vault to get them. Did not expect it. And Graves did not expect the white powder. He says that he did not think that Imani still made the white powder and that any amount of it usually kills a person that ingests it. So it didn't fully work on Kier's while it's indicating that, it is affecting her. He thinks that she just got so much that it penetrated her immunity. And this part is really sweet. Like he's like, "You need to get more rest to go back to sleep." And he's like, "You can recover at home." And she goes, "It's not my home." And he was like, "It could be."
I know. I loved it. See, that's why I'm like, how can we not like this guy?
Yeah, but
I
it
know.
could be.
And she does. The only other thing that I was gonna add is, like when he's like, "How are you feeling?" and stuff, she's like, she might say that there was concern there. So again, he is being like very kind and gentle with her this whole time. Like I haven't seen this other character yet that everybody else seems to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is very much like Sin in our
Mhm.
previous book. Like everybody says he's an asshole, but like,
Yeah.
where is it?
Yeah.
He even says he's an asshole, but where is it? And he's like, all of the like, when you're incapacitated, that should never have occurred. He's very upset and continues to be upset about what happened to her.
Yeah.
But is he just protecting his investment?
Mm-hmm. I don't think
Devil's advocate.
so. We have to have one.
Okay. Did you have
Yeah.
anything, Ashley, on that one?
Mm-mm.
Okay. All right, so now we have another interlude, and this one is from Imani. So we find out that whenever it takes her a lot of power to create the wish powder, but whenever the wishes are fulfilled, she gets so much power from it. So she's like busting right now. She kind of wished that Graves would try to like challenge her because she was like, I could kick his ass right now. Because she wants him gone for good. Like she wants nothing to do with them. He's like ruins everything. Very bad blood between them. She goes back into their history a little bit and says she met him when she was young in Victorian England. Victorian England, what year would that have been, Ashley?
Me, I don't
We're
like.
talking about,
It's in the early
oh my
1900s
God,
though, because
you're
she
supposed
said
to know
something about
shit.
All the random shit.
W.E.B. Du Bois and like an exhibit at, like that's when the Eiffel Tower was built. The World's Fair came in 1900.
Well, I will say, like, she knew Alexandre Dumas. He's the one that wrote the Count of Monte Cristo. Okay, that's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
1837 to 1901.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's been a long time. That 150 years is how long they've known each other, supposedly. Or no, that's how long
Yep.
they have
Yeah,
been
because
fighting.
we're
So
like
it's been more.
20. We're some. Do we actually know what year we're in? We're somewhere
I
in the
don't
future for
know.
us, right?
I don't know what
I
year. I'll let
think
you look
so.
for that.
Okay, yeah. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're fine. But Graves, when Graves met her, he wanted to cultivate her potential as a warlock. And it seems very obvious that she wanted more out of it. She went with him to his home in Paris, and that's where I was talking about the exhibits, the art, very artsy scene, and that's where she met Montrell. They both met Montrell. And this whole time, Graves is rejecting her as a lover. And when she finds out that he has a lover, she's like, I'm gonna find out who this bitch is. And who does she find him with other than Montrell? And what does she do? Join them. And what does she do? Regret it. It ruined everything. So we don't get enough. Like we're getting little morsels, but like Montrell and Imani fell in love, but Montrell also still held love for Graves. And when they decided to leave, I think it just kind of like broke everything. And she stole his letters as leverage when they left. So this is another one. Like this is an instance where someone he loved left.
Well,
right?
and so it says
Um,
like they loved and hated him for letting him go to Amani so easily, for letting them both go, as if he had known that they would leave one day anyways.
that's where you got that, like that they were just trying to. He was
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
giving them the out, and he didn't want them to prove him right, but they did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, after she's reminiscing a little bit, talks a little bit more about her and Montrell, she noticed when she walks into her office or whatever that the bookcase is cracked, and she knows that Montrell would not have done that. So she's like, "What the fuck?" She sprints down there and then realizes somebody had been in the vault, and she immediately recognizes that those letters are missing. So she knows Graves was involved, and he is going to pay for this. Like she already was fueled with hatred for him, and now it is just like busted.
Which is
So-
hilarious because, like, you stole them
She
first,
stole them
bitch.
first. Like
That was her leverage,
fucking
though. Like,
delusional.
that
So
was her
what,
leverage
that-
over him.
So what? That he likes to like bang dudes too? Like, and
Well, we don't know what's in the letters.
No, we don't. That's where.
Well,
so we were
true.
talking about.
I was just going
I think
because you
it's
guys
next.
read that whole thing, but then it goes on to say it was why she had stolen the letters as leverage. No one let two of his best go that easily without a plan, and Graves always had a plan.
Yeah.
So she's thinking it's some kind of strategic something.
Gotcha. Well, and also important to note that she does confirm. So white powder littered the floor enough to kill a person.
Yeah.
To overpower their senses and make their last wish literally eat them alive. So
Dark.
not only
Yeah.
that, but like, I mean, all powers have their limit, right? So she's pretty damn immune.
She didn't.
If it
She
doesn't
also
kill her.
didn't question that. At least not here. Like, wouldn't you have been like, "Who the fuck got in here now?" Without
Right.
killing
And
them?
without dying. I was thinking the same thing. Like, why didn't she question there's no body?
I guess she's just fueled with rage.
Well, not only that, but so she knows Graves obviously has to be involved, right? And if he is as all powerful as we're led to
Yeah.
believe, then it would make sense that she wouldn't question like how he was able to like circumvent sucking in all that powder
Yeah, I guess
somehow.
that's true. The only thing I was gonna
Mhm.
point out, similar to Emmeline, where they both kind of say how, like, she specifically says her life would have been forever altered if she hadn't said yes. So it's like she doesn't. They don't regret being with Grace, but they don't have positive feelings
Yeah.
about him now.
Yeah.
So again, interesting character
Well,
building.
they're both jilted lovers. Like they both wanted more from him and
Mhm.
then both took the out and then blame him. Like I'm not saying that he's not at fault because clearly, you know, you can only
got
have this empathy
character flaws.
for
But
so
they seem
long.
to be like passionately angry, not just
Yeah,
like they're
Maybe
having
they-
their
I feel like we're
maybe they
not
had a really good
getting-
thing and they ruined it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. They
Bitter
seem pretty angry
bitches.
about it. Yeah.
So we're about to move in the next part. Are we saying that the time thing was just like her immunity running out?
Yeah, like
Okay,
we're finding where her immunity stopped.
Yeah.
gotcha.
So that's what we haven't gone into it yet. We go into it more in the next chapter.
Yeah.
Well, I was just saying because it had that picture.
Okay,
and
the
that's what
time
we
stuff.
just
Yeah.
read the whole chapter, whole section.
Oh.
So
Yeah.
I did not reflect on it. I was confused. Sorry.
no, yeah, I didn't either. I was
Um,
reflecting right now with you guys.
I was lost. Ready for the next part?
Yes,
It's part 4, The Oak and the Holly King. So this title of the story that he's having her read. So Kierce wakes up at the brimstone and is
The
feeling
brimstone?
like the brownstone.
Wow, that
Lore.
was negative.
I did not catch with me.
No. Negative foreshadowing. She wakes up at the brownstone and she's like got dry mouth and just feeling like shit, but she is no longer feeling like she's going to turn to ash. So positive. She knows she's lost quite a bit of time. And she goes to explain that she's only felt like this sick once, and she had a really bad case of influenza that she had to work through because of asshole Jason. And it was during the monster war, and she really just didn't have a way to get treatment for it. So she's like bebopping around with 105 fever, doing work. And she said like the aftermath felt the same. Like it took her a while to get back to like full strength, which we've all had the flu, we know.
Sounded like she
makes
was
her way.
trying to like make it sound like COVID. The way she describes it.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah.
She's got long COVID.
Yeah.
Sorry. So she wanders downstairs slowly, but she finds Graves in the study. She's getting immediate flashbacks of being slammed up against the wall under him, behind him, I guess, and trying to deal with that. Finds out she was out for a full day. Graves is definitely showing he's worried. We just mentioned that he is like, what does he say? We can't afford, she's worried about training. Like, we can't afford to lose that time. I'm so sorry. And he's like, you could have died. Take a seat. Like, I didn't want that to happen to you. And he calls her Wren again. Wren, you're awake. And so moving on from that, the cat is also there. With this cat has to have some significance because she's brought up too much.
Yeah.
She has a full human name, Anne Boleyn, which was King Henry VIII's second wife. Famous for, she was the one that was like sleeping around a lot, and he chopped her head off. So that's what the cat's named after. And the cat is, it's a funny interaction because she's like, she says that the cat is her kind of woman. And this is another situation where Graves just really seems to appreciate Kierce's perspective on things. Because she's like, sex and danger are the best kinds of stories. He's just like, I like you.
Yeah.
And whenever she goes into talking about what happened again, we get very much like, yeah, so that whole thing was a test. And the whole time I knew that the wish powder was going to be pumped through the ventilation system. So you were going to be exposed to it. And he had not intended to risk her health and safety. So again, showing the worry for her. He did not like
I
to see
did
her
not like
hurting.
see you hurting.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
did not like to see her hurting. She's still like, how am I immune? I don't understand. And let's see, what did he say? Yeah, he had the antidote the whole time, so he just needed to test her immunity. And he intended it for it to be a controlled test that got out of hand. Um, but yeah, this is okay. So remember when I said that I think that something broke him? Right
Mhm.
here, he says, after she said, no job ever goes exactly the plan, he says, no, but I never intended to risk your health and safety as mine were when my limits were tested.
Yeah.
So I think
Oh,
that's
no,
like,
that is
I
about
think it's like,
his
it's
Apprenticeship.
his
Yeah.
training, but I still feel like something broke him at some point. So we
Oh.
don't know when that happened. Like, right? Could he still have been under Kingston as an apprentice when he's still, or like there's a level between? I don't know.
Mm.
It was just a thought. Like, I feel like
Yeah, sure.
there's a pile of things
Yeah.
that probably broke him.
Sure.
At this point, anything is game because we have no
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, true. And she feels his sincerity and his concern, which is nice. You'll remember that I pointed out the letters, right? And so he's like looking at him, throwing him in the fire. And she's like, "What the fuck, dude?" He goes, "Oh, it was like it's personal. It's nothing to do with the spear." So she says, but you said that. What do you say? You said it held information to get the spear. And he's like, "Did I?" He did not. He just did not agree with her. And he
Mhm.
said he will find they'll know what to do, but not that they contained it.
Mhm.
And this is what so Ashley said that she appreciates that she's like realistic.
Yeah.
Because she's like, you used me to strike back at your enemies. And a lot of people in these stories would be pissed and like
Mhm.
hold
Yeah.
on to that. But she's like, man, he's clever. I hate him if I didn't appreciate the brilliant mechanisms or
Mhm.
machinations under his dark exterior.
Well, and she said that to him with a smile on her face.
Yeah.
Like,
Mhm.
oh,
Yeah.
so you used me to get
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
Nice.
Exactly. Like I would have done that. Kudos.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And let's see, they are now like one step closer to the spear. And let's see, he wasn't going to let her attempt to steal the spear before he even knew that she could access it. So that's what the whole purpose of this test was. And he says that she's like, why did you call me Wren? Like, what's the purpose of it? And he says, I wanted them to know you are mine. And it worked because Montreal immediately was like, oh, she's yours.
Mhm.
So what's the significance there? He brought up the book, The Oak and the Holly King, and she had read it. I don't think she finished it, but she's talking about the summer and winter gods who fought to bring in their seasons during the solstices, spring to fall, summer, winter, all of it. Not in that order, but you get the gist. And they would battle it out. And Kirst really likes the story, like bringing magic into something that's existing with the seasons. And they do mention the wren is to the holly as the robin is to the oak. She agrees that she will continue training, and she's like lingering there. Like, is he gonna say something about like our spicy encounter? And he doesn't. So she just moves along. That was that. Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty much.
When she's talking about the Oak King, she says, had
Mhm.
Graves chosen Holly as his symbol because of this story? Was he calling her Wren because he saw her as a symbol of rebirth? Amused, it was so convoluted. So, because I had the question in my chapters, because when it really goes into detail into all of this, it's the same thing that I was going to pose, but I can just pose it now is because typically these types of things aren't things they get to choose. It's like destiny or you're born into it. So is it still an inkling that he chose this, or we know like he chose?
So
I think he chose her
I
because
feel
she's a
like
ward breaker.
No,
no, I
his
feel like
symbol of Holly.
so I feel
Oh.
like your take. You said something earlier, and I was curious about it because you said that his warding was his ward was that was a holly or the
Mhm.
wren.
Mhm.
And I think that it's not having to do with his wording. Like that's just like they make it look a certain way and it's like their signature, but it doesn't really tie back to them as a like it doesn't have to be like they can choose it. It's just how they use their power. But with this, it is the question like, is he related to the story? Like, is it truth? Like, is he part of the basis of the story, or is it just something he relates to and shows? Is that kind of the question you're posing?
Yeah, and maybe we dig into it deeper in 31 because it does give a bit more detail. But yeah, that's just something I've been trying to
Is that
figure
where
out
she
too.
brings up? Is that where she brings up the different words? Okay.
That and they talk about more of this book. They go into
Okay.
it, and he does say like he. Anyways, we can get into it when we get there. But that's just something I'm pondering. And the last sentence, I don't think you read it, and it ends with, and she wouldn't forget that he could play her as well as she could play him.
Yeah. I think she says feeling a little
Yeah.
left high and dry.
Yeah.
She seemed like she was really hoping he would bring it up.
So chapter 28. This one's really quick. We get back where Kierce is training just endlessly, and she was expecting Graves to return by nightfall, but when he doesn't, she's like, okay, cool, perfect opportunity. So she dresses in all black. She sneaks past the new cameras that he has installed and sneaks
At least
out
they
to
took
meet
her
Nate.
advice.
Yeah. And she realizes pretty quickly that I think she makes it like 2 blocks. And she is like just winded to the nth degree. And she's like, screw it, and gets a cab. She's like, there's no way I can fight the subways and the trolls and all the other stuff. Like, so she takes a cab. And right as she gets out of the cab, who appears but Declan? And
Did we miss, or did I think that she got a text?
Yeah, Nate did text her asking to meet her burner phone. So that is why she left.
Yeah.
yeah.
So she's on her way to meet Nate. Yeah.
So Declan appears, and I mean, she's not exactly surprised, but like she's not trying to deal with this shit today. Like she's
This
not.
fucking guy.
Yeah, like she's not at 100%, and so they're going back and forth, and she's given the option like, you can come with me willingly to go meet Lorcan, or like we're just gonna kidnap you essentially. And she kind of like makes it look like she's thinking about it, but she already knows she's just gonna go willingly at this point. So she goes, and they don't blindfold her or anything, which she thinks is like really weird.
She said, "It's amazing what you can accomplish when you don't point a gun at me."
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's
'Cause
like
he's like,
openly
"Oh, you're
mocking
just gonna
him.
come?"
She's
Yeah.
openly mocking him during this whole interaction too.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you sound
And
ridiculous. All this.
Yeah. She's still very peeved from the last time they tried to kill her, which,
Yeah, for sure.
okay. And so he takes her straight to Lorcan's HQ, and they go up to the top floor, and it is this swanky like restaurant called Equinox. And
So,
Mhm.
out front, he mentions again there's towering oak trees.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
maybe
so Lorcan
that
also
is-
has a tie to
that
oak.
does play into there's multiple like different people maybe.
Yeah, you think about his persona as we read
Yeah.
about him here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will say the more we read about Lorcan, the more like, I know I said it like early on that he's probably like the second book, like the Oak
Yeah.
with the Robin and whatnot. But like the more we learn in this chapter, but then also again later, like there's even more symbolism in that. So when she reads that the place is called Equinox, like something in the back of her head is like, oh, why does that sound familiar? And then
Any music playing right now? Would you like me to play
Alexa, stop.
Nosy bitch.
Well, it used to be a Kiwi man, and now she is the female again. I don't even understand. But whatever. So, she goes up and she's like thinking like, I don't know why, but this really sounds familiar. And she's trying to like rack her brain, like why Equinox sounds so familiar. But before she can, like, here comes Lorcan and he's like, oh, hello. And he seems very like disarming. Like, and she makes a point of saying he smiles very easily as if he had never known true pain, which I found to be very on on key for the light versus dark in this battle.
She honestly sounds pretty into him too. She's
I mean,
trying
she
not
kind
to
of
be.
does.
Is she? I
Yeah.
missed that part.
Well, I will say, like in the next, it comes out more in the next chapter, where
I
she's
felt
like,
he definitely was, but she again kind of going back to she plays whomever she's talking to.
True.
yes,
True.
because she is very
Um,
cognizant.
Yeah.
Equinox, is that like the longest day? There's the spring. What is the equinox?
Yes,
Like its significance,
Yes.
right? And the solstice is one of the shorter days, right?
yes.
So they're
the
opposites.
equinox. Yeah. So the equinox, he does actually explain why it's called
Okay.
equinox.
So I was like, I mean,
Um,
that's relative
definitely
to
didn't put that
the
into my
story
notes,
too,
though.
probably. Okay.
I'll look for it when we get there.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that's really all that happens in that chapter. Like it stops at that point. So
Yeah.
Nothing else.
okay. So my notes are pretty concise in here. So feel free to jump in if you have key points that you want to make. Such as I did not include like the whole equinox thing, but so as you can imagine, Pierce is not super welcoming. Like he tries to shake her hand and she just kind of looks at it like, nah.
He
And
has
he's
to work
like,
for
okay.
it.
Yeah. And like he's not even bothered by it. You know, some villains are like so offended and whatnot, but like he's just like, all right, yeah, I get it. And he's like, let's go sit in this booth back here. And she's like, not dressed for this. And he's like, oh, the owner won't mind because clearly he's the owner. So he's just very insistent that they go and they sit over here, eat dinner, and have this conversation that he just has to have with her. It's just so important. And he makes a point to be like, you're perfectly safe with me. She's like, you say that after kidnapping me?
Yeah.
He's like, it was an invitation. And she's like, an invitation that you could have delivered yourself. And like she's just not not here for it. Like she's not letting him off the hook. She's not exactly disrespectful, but at the same time she kind of is.
0%
there's definitely-
welcoming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is just anybody else. She's not giving
Yeah.
him any kind of
Yeah.
significance.
Like
or
I don't give a
importance.
flying hoot who you are or who you
Mhm.
think you are, but like no.
You try to kill me and my friends.
Yeah. And she does end up agreeing to go and sitting in the booth or whatever. And she's like, but never do this again.
Well, she
And-
says, I realize your word is valuable, so if you go against it, I will kill you.
yeah. He's like, yeah, I would expect nothing less. But I feel like he was kind of laughing at her as well. Like, you would never.
Yeah.
But never underestimate the underdog.
But she does make a comparison that he is very unlike Graves.
Yeah. They were like polar opposites.
Yeah.
And so he does actually confirm that Amber Dash is a client of his and he loves Equinox. He loves the lamb at Equinox. And she's like, it all kind of clicks and he confirms that he's the one that coordinated with Amber Dash to get her to break into Graves' house. And he does offer the clarification that Amber Dash went through like multiple people that failed miserably before he would offer her up. Like he didn't want to,
If
but
it makes you feel better.
yeah. And she's like, it doesn't. Like, kudos for him, but he still did it. Like, and let's see. But yeah, and he was like, yeah, so you were successful, but like when you walked out the front door, I thought you were compromised, which I thought was a really weird way to say that because like there was no loyalty there regardless. She didn't even know that he was behind it. So That was weird, but
It makes so
whatever.
much more sense now, like, why he
Yeah.
attacked.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah.
I think we speculated that he had
Yeah.
some tie with
Yeah.
Amberdash and, like, had some
Mhm.
tie with it, and so he felt betrayed.
Right.
So we were like, "Look at us."
Yeah. And she's like, "Oh, but you're not worried now that I'm living there." And he hard dodges that. And all he says is, "Oh, you certainly are," and then changes the
Yeah.
subject. And, but he does make a point to be like, "You and I are not enemies. Like, regardless of how he and Graves are, like, you and I aren't enemies." And she just kind of like lets that roll. She's whatever, basically. And he also brings up her necklace and he seems very interested in it, but he doesn't really elaborate much. She brings up like what Graves said, and he's like, "Oh, he's spinning his tails or whatever." But he never really goes into why he thinks it's interesting and whatnot.
But he
So
does
I'm
lean
sure.
to, like, it's a sign that spring is near the end of winter.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So still like more oak positive light of it.
Yeah. And so he tells her, he's like, "Yeah, I want to know all about you. Like, what do you like to do for fun? What do all
Give
of
me the
this."
tea.
Yeah, it's very like, and when she answers something about like, "Oh, I like training," he's like, "No, that's work. What do you like to do when you're not working?" Like, and he's very insistent. Where it creeped me out. Like, I felt very much like,
Mhm.
Very
Yeah.
like
forced.
when you go to a
Like,
coffee shop and
where are you
someone's like,
getting this?
"Oh,
Yeah.
what do you do for fun?" Like, and you're trying to like leave, and they just like won't leave you alone. And you're just like, "Stop! Are you gonna stalk me?" Like, damn,
I don't
it was
like
weird.
you.
Yeah, like I don't know you. Why would I tell you any of this? Like, um, and
She was
even
confused though
at
because she expected him to be like warning her against Graves, and he
Yeah.
doesn't do that.
right.
And so that does like pique her interest a little bit.
And she is like, even at this point, she is kind of going back and forth. He's still very charming and whatnot, but she's not fully buying into it. Like, she knows there's some kind of ulterior motive here, but she's kind of playing it out at this point still. And she asks him point blank, like, "Why do you hate Graves?" And he's like, "Oh, well, I'll tell you the next time you come back."
Mhm.
And he gives her his business card and tells her, like, "You call when you're ready to come back. Like, I won't kidnap you again." And she's like, well, I'm gonna tell Graves about dinner." And he's like, I fully expected it. I'm not breaking the agreement. Like, I'm letting you leave and you're perfectly fine. Like, I didn't do anything to harm you. You can tell him I fully expected you to." And she, to whatever extent, turns on the charm. And he's like, this is the part where I'm like, okay, so maybe it is all an act, because she swipes his watch seemingly unbeknownst to him. And she's like, yeah, and he's
Bold.
like looking into my eyes and I, honest to God, you guys, I'm sitting here thinking like, how does somebody not feel it when their watch comes off their hand?
She's
Yeah.
a very good thief.
Like, that's wild. Um, but she's definitely like leaning into this like flirty mannerism that he has going to try and distract him. She gets the watch in her pocket and she goes to like turn and leave. And he's like, "No, that's not very nice. Like, give it back." And she just kind of like smiles and gives it back. And she's like, "What gave me away?" And he's like, "Oh, I'll tell you next time."
Yeah.
And she's like, "Maybe." And then that's kind of the end of it.
Yeah.
And this whole
It
interaction is very interesting.
is.
It's like you
It's
kidnapped her and then
awkward.
there's no agenda.
No. I feel like he just wanted to get a read on her.
Yeah.
Or like maybe he
Well,
has magic.
Well,
And
and
like
she
he's trying to
does
get a feel for her.
that, but she does make a point to have the thought like, it's very much like he's feeling out to see if he can convert her
Mhm.
to his
Yeah.
side,
Yeah.
like a double agent
Gr-
of some kind.
This whole like relationship between him and Graves. And
Mhm.
like if she's showing value to Graves, then it's probably something he could go after too.
Yeah.
Like it's
Right.
something that he could benefit from.
Yeah.
The equinox thing was equinox means balance. Balance is an important concept for me. I try to apply it to my life. The seasons, my
Yeah.
food.
Yeah.
But I mean that's
Um,
not the only thing equinox means.
I was gonna add about the necklace. He he says, I bet Grace found that necklace very interesting, as do I, little songbird.
No, you don't get to give
I
her
was
a nickname.
so creeped out
sir.
by that, actually. I
Mhm.
forgot he did that. Yeah, when he called her Songbird, I was like, ugh.
Ew. No,
Yeah.
she's Wren.
Yeah, so I have a feeling that is part
Yeah.
of their story together.
Definitely. Which we do learn a little bit more about it later, but like, yeah, I'm definitely
And then the other
intrigued.
thing I highlighted was his embossment or something has a small
Mhm.
acorn adornment.
Yeah.
So oak related.
Mm-hmm.
I was just about to say the same thing.
I know.
I
I
love
was
that
gonna
you
say earlier. I
guys-
love that we highlight the same, like exact same parts.
Yeah.
So I love that you guys tied that into an oak tree because all I'm sitting there, I was reading, I was like, who the fuck cares about squirrels? Like,
No, fair. I see your train of thought.
that it was all, I'm like, what? Like, what the hell is going on here? So
He's probably up there cooking squirrels. The meat market's not great, you know?
honestly, I looked for too much symbolism in the first half of this book that now I'm like, fuck the symbolism.
Yeah.
What? Why squirrels?
Love it.
Yeah. All right. Anything else before my last chapter? No?
No.
Cool. So, chapter 30. Again, it's pretty short.
Fucking Declan.
Yeah, because Lorcan made the statement that he would have Declan drop her wherever in the city that she wanted to go. Well, Declan is like, nah, not doing that. He drops her off exactly where he picked her ass up.
He's still
And-
very, very sassy about her getting away from
Yes.
him.
Mhm.
His ego is black and blue still, weeks later. And he drives off, and Nate is waiting in the shadows because apparently they had been planning for her to.
Loved this.
I know. And when they talked about, there's no backstory to it. They were like, yeah, we planned this. And I'm like, hold up, what?
But did
like,
y'all
did I
not
miss
both
something?
question that when she first got picked up, Nate didn't intervene? Because
Yes.
I
He's probably-
did.
I have a feeling he was watching to see, like, if it was going to go bad, he probably would have jumped in.
Right.
He
No,
took
but
her.
like when I was reading it,
No,
I
but
was
for, I
like-
mean, before we knew there was a plan.
No,
that's what I mean. Huh?
think
Christy, you go
I
first.
was just so I stammered, so like I was like,
I was about to say, is there a lag?
Her brain is
his
lagging.
man is malfunctioning. No, I was gonna say that I think it makes sense because she wants to get all of the information. She's made it pretty clear that she wants all the
Yeah.
information and she wants to make sure her friends are safe. So if they came and found her and he was probably in ear, like he's a wolf. He could probably hear very
Yeah.
well, right? Like he probably knew she was going on her own accords and where she was going and everything. Is my
I was
thought
thinking
process.
he was like late or something. And he
Oh.
was like, he was not there, is what I was thinking.
Gotcha.
And like he's out
Initially,
there
like when it
panicking
was
that she missed the
happening,
meeting.
yeah, I was like, "What the fuck, Nate? Where you at? How you gonna be late right now?"
Yeah, right. I mean, she needs you.
Yeah,
No, but he did say
Um,
you seemed pretty banged up when they picked you up on the street, like he was watching.
No,
yes.
now,
Oh.
yeah. But I mean,
She was
when
talking
I
about
read
before.
Oh, okay. You
when
just
they
thought he wasn't
picked her
there.
up, I was just like, where is this guy? He's supposed
Yeah,
hello.
Come on.
like, are you supposed to be the big baddie?
Exactly. Like clearly you're not very good at this production
Like,
stuff.
right. What a
But anyways.
shitty pack you must have if you're at the
Yeah.
top. So they had made this plan to whatever extent when she had noticed the druids casing Graves's place like the few days and weeks ahead of the time. Like they'd just been casing the joint the whole time. And so they had been planning, like, we need to draw him out. He's not gonna be able to help himself to like try again.
Yeah.
But they were definitely not planning for it to be this evening, especially while she was feeling like total horseshit. But they go into the coffee shop and she kind of just spills the beans on everything that went down.
I'm still not like
And-
getting it. That like she's like, he gave me everything. I'm like, well, I missed something.
Same.
No, she's
So
just not telling us.
yeah, I don't. I don't know if there's some kind of hidden undertone that none of us are picking up on, because I don't feel like he gave her much at all.
She's not giving us everything.
No,
This is the
that's it.
second
She's
time
not
she's had
giving us
plans.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The second time she's had plans that she's like, haha, my plans are unfolding. We're like, what the fuck?
Mhm.
Which plan?
Yeah.
It's kind of like when Amani interrupted them. Like, then it came
Yeah.
back and she was like, oh, here are all these clues I picked up in that
Yeah.
interaction. We'll get that eventually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Okay,
That's
sorry,
my
go ahead.
thought.
So Nate is definitely of the opinion that Lorcan seems very interested in her. And she's like, yeah, I agree, but I'm not exactly sure how much of it is an act yet.
Mhm. He
And
sure puts on like he's the hero.
yeah. Yeah. What man doesn't? Anyways. And they're both in agreement, like he is definitely going to actively seek her out again. He can't help it. He's not going to be able to resist. And the whole, oh, I'm gonna wait for you to call me thing is like that's not real. She has a 3-step plan. 1, get close to all the big players in the city, learn their secrets, objectives, and future moves. 2, work with Nate and the pack to consolidate info into action to then use against monsters. And then 3, steal the spear just to stick it to the monsters, quite honestly, is kind of how that one goes. And Nate is trying to dig into why she
She'd
went
been
radio
planning.
silent.
Wait, I'm
Yeah.
confused. Like, but she said, and while she had planned all of this to begin with, she hadn't planned on Graves. So, like, she just wasn't planning on that, like, how she's feeling about him.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
So Nate's trying to figure out like what's the deal? Like you've been MIA for days. And she kind of like hedges and just says, I'm just doing my job. And he then tries to dig for more info on Graves, and she hedges again. And she has the thought in her head, like, I should be sharing details with him, but I gave Graves my word that I wasn't, like, she's falling back on that, like, that's her excuse for not wanting to share anything about Graves. But I think we all know, like, she feels like it would be a betrayal on their personal
She's soft for
level.
him, but also he's fucking scary. Like it
Yeah.
is made apparent by everybody that he's a scary dude. Like,
Yeah.
he has a lot of power.
Yeah. And Nate definitely picks up on it. And he's like, we're on the same side. She's like, I know. And the last bit of it is like, she wants that to be true, but she knows at the end of the day, the only person that's ever on her side is her. So, like,
Yeah.
she
Mhm.
has to do what's best for her in the long run. And that doesn't
Yeah.
mean she can trust Nate indefinitely either.
Yep.
The end.
The end.
That's all I got.
All right, 32.
31.
31. My bad. I was like, oh, that starts in the middle of a weird. Okay. I'm missing something here. So Curse sneaks back in to her room, and Graves is waiting for her in the dark, of course, but not in like
In
a
her
weird
room.
way. Yeah, in her room. And he is just truly so concerned because she hasn't recovered.
Yeah.
So again, going back to, he still seems like he's so very gentle with her. Like, I'm not getting this other, because he's just like, you should have waited until, he's not even like, you shouldn't have left. He's just like, you should have
Yeah.
waited until you were fully recovered.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
not being like grossly protective,
Yeah.
but he's showing care. He mentioned she evaded the cameras.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And she's
Like,
like,
I thought that was
"Did
just
you put
another
those-"
test.
Yeah. I thought that
Yeah.
was a challenge. So she explains to him about what happened with the druids and the dinner. I just wrote this in for us. She brings up him looking like a dragon, because I thought you
Yes.
brought up a dragon early on
did.
or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I made
not
a
sure
mental
that
note of
means
that, too.
anything, but
She mentions like his house is kind of like a dragon's hoard, like it has treasures everywhere, and then the dragon knocker
Yeah.
on the door.
mhm. So that could just be
Knocker.
her, whatever.
Yeah.
But so Graves immediately is like, he broke the agreement, and she's like, well, he's probably trying to get a reaction out of you. And he's like, good point. she confirms that he did not tell her about their relationship, and neither has he. So, and he ends up going into it, which she's shocked by. And Grace explains how they used to be quote unquote family, and they were like two sides of the same coin. Um, some tragedy we don't get the details of struck, and Graves was blamed for this, and
I think
he
it has
kind
to
of
do with the
owns
flowers.
that.
The tragedy have something to do with the like the flowers have something to do with the tragedy. Like maybe they
Could
lost
be.
somebody that was important to both of them, and it was like one of their fault or something.
It
And the
was this other
flowers
Wren.
were a reminder.
Well, and the purple
Maybe.
is purple was like the reminder like of something that happened or whatever. So
Yeah.
Okay, then maybe so. Um, yeah, but Graves does take like he didn't actually do it, but he takes the blame. So a little selfless comment there.
yeah, he does say something about
Perhaps.
like the blame was laid rightfully or not, like it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but nothing, whatever it was so bad, there's no fixing it.
Yeah.
No apologies will suffice.
It was painful for him too. Like,
Yeah.
as he's telling it, like
He's
it's clear
like
how
very
painful it is for him.
lost
Yeah.
in the memory. She has to like, hey, hello, like kind of snap him back into reality a bit, which I found interesting as well. So he takes her to the library to show her what he's found. We learn, the Andelin for the cat. Anybody else still expecting this cat to turn into a human?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Definitely.
Every time she's
Okay.
brought up, I just keep waiting for her to like pop up and
Or
be
then
some
be like,
chick
yeah,
in a
she's
black
cursed.
dress with black hair and like
Yeah.
be the
Me
real
too.
Anne
Okay.
Boleyn.
You know, they say that they
Right.
can
No,
have
I was
multiple
thinking
powers.
that. I was like, maybe that's the story of Anne Boleyn. She
Right.
turned into a cat.
You know how they said like they could have multiple powers or whatever, and Graves has been so vague. Like, I have this feeling that like maybe he is, I don't know, a dragon because of the collecting and everything.
Maybe.
But then he also is a warlock, dragon wizard.
That would make him very
Dragon
powerful.
Very powerful.
It's very powerful.
Sorry, go ahead.
He gives her a new book, and then he asks about the other. And this is where we go more into that story. And she says that she loved the story of the Oak and Holly King. And he's like, of course you loved that one. It's about, war, and not the other one, which was about like conversions or something.
Yeah.
He like knows her already.
Yeah. So it was, the details. Battle each year to fight over winter or summer. King always trying to bring back light. Holly King always trying to bring back dark. Kierce asks, since Holly is his symbol, if that means something. And he says, Holly is a symbol of eternal life because they stay green in winter and the berries are poisonous. I recognize myself in that. So that's what I was questioning. Do they pick their own symbols then? Or like how, he's like this most powerful being. Like how do you just get that from actual like training? Or,
Well,
because most
remember
of these stories,
they're all like really old, right? And back in the day, they used to have crests and like they had their
like
own
a
like
house symbol.
symbols and things like that. So like I did this like the little wax sealer, whatever. So I feel like he probably did have some hand in picking that, but also like we don't really know his coming of self story. Like we don't know that part of it. And remember also, he says a few times in the beginning, like there's always a kernel of truth in myth and things like that. So it's like he could have been old enough to be the reason for the myth, the kernel of truth to create the myth or whatever.
I guess that's true. I didn't think about that. Yeah, it's just interesting. Again, kind of going back like the differences of this book and the typical that we're reading, right? Where it's like they don't pick; it's you're born into it and you become king because of your heritage or your powers or
How do you
whatever.
become these things? Like, what's the rhyme or reason?
Yeah, like he and Lorcan are the original.
Yeah.
I was going to say along the lines of like when she's telling why she likes the story, and he says, "You start with harmony and end with chaos. I'm not sure I know anything else that perfectly sums you up." This is just like more levels where he's relating to her and like seeing her in the same light as he sees himself, or in a relation to how he sees himself, and I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
And like this also is playing into like my long threaded theory of like they somehow knew each other in a different
Yeah.
life or something, because he is all of a sudden like they've only spent a couple of weeks and barely any time together, and he does
Yeah.
seem to like know her on a very deep level,
Yeah.
but he could just be
Interesting.
extremely observant.
Well,
And
he did
knowledge
do a
is his
background.
power. Yeah, no, for sure, but yeah, we'll see. He changes the subject to the papers, the blueprints that he has uncovered, which Kiersey's excited about because recon is like her favorite thing, and like finding the exits and all the detail behind the heists. We learn about Vampire King Louis, who I forgot until we talked about it today, was what we were talking about with Emmeline. A bit about him. He runs the underground. Is a moniker after King Louis the whatever. Don't
14.
know that number.
14?
Of France. The Sun King, who was the longest reigning French monarch. The vampire was cast out after the Monster Treaty and rose to be the Monster King of the underworld and runs the Men of Valor. He believes he should rule the world, so he is like our arch male here, and was the biggest advocate against the treaty in the first place. But they mentioned like that the treaty's not going to stop him either way. So,
Yeah.
and he has the spear, which we knew about as well. But we do
But
also
it's
learn
still
that
at this point
Graves
like
isn't
speculation.
right. Yeah, that's what I was about to
Like,
say. He's not certain the
she's like,
spear is with him or exactly there. And I was like, oh, so we're doing all of this on a hunch?
And she questioned it. She's like, "So you haven't seen it?" Or you said,
Yeah. Very interesting, which I'm sure, he's capable, but it was maybe not, because it is interesting that she would write it that way too.
It's
Yeah.
not
Anyhow.
intentional.
Kierce asks what the issue is since he is just a vampire and vampire can't make wards. And Graves shows a picture of another guy, Walter Rodriguez.
What a normal ass name.
I know, that was going to
Yeah.
say the same thing.
Well, and he's even described as like the like stereotypical like nerdy dude, like the overgrown
Tech
curly
guy.
hair, like
He's a
super
gangly
scrawny.
youth with wide black rimmed glasses.
Yeah.
So we learn he is a base warlock. There are 3 levels of warlocks: base, apprentice, and master. We already know Graves to be the master, which somehow Kierce didn't.
Yeah.
You are. Come on, really.
Graves had offered for Walter to be his apprentice, which he was for a bit. And we also learned that there's kind of ranges to this, where some warlocks will grow to be magnificent, like Amani. Some just have like this little flame, as Montrell. But Walter burned out, so he was not able to develop his powers, I guess. But he is still able to use his secondary powers. They're just weaker. And his secondary power is force fields, which is quite cool. We learned that any warlock can use wards. Kierce as well, if we do determine she is in fact a warlock. She asks if all wards are different, and this is where she comments to him specifically about the holly, and then Amani having the birds, which we learn are Sankofa. Yes, from her native.
Well, what?
How?
I was trying to be polite and let her
Well,
finish
just-
her train of thought.
We'll just say because I'm not always looking at the camera.
So anybody else pick up on his level of surprise when
she connected
she's
it?
like, well, no, that she's like, yeah, Amani's wards are of those birds, yours are of the holly. And it's like he was surprised that she could see.
Yeah, I think that's not that, like, you can't see it. normally.
Oh, I did not catch that.
Yeah, because he's like,
Um,
he was startled, like, oh, yeah, everybody's magic's individual.
yeah.
And like Imani's is that one that means look to the past to build a better future. And that's what she asked, would Rem be my symbol? But yeah, I don't think that anybody can see the ward etchings, otherwise everybody would know it was warded.
Yeah, because
But it's
when
interesting that she can't
Interesting.
see, that she didn't notice them before. Maybe she thought they were just decorative, like when she's casing
well,
out the place and
yeah,
stuff.
she's always talking about like carvings or whatever,
Oh,
Mhm.
but
and she
those
said
are
that
the
the library, I
wards.
remember, yeah, I remember her saying that the library, like probably the library
Yeah.
was warded specifically. Okay, cool.
And
Cool.
when she says, "Do all the wards look differently?" He's like, "What do you mean?" Like,
I definitely
huh?
missed that.
True. Okay.
Yeah,
Important.
yeah. Continue,
Interesting.
my darling.
I'm gonna put to sleep. Oh shit. Sorry, Theodore. She asks if her symbol would be a Wren, and he says, I guess we will find out.
I mean, because I didn't know anybody could see wards, so I don't know.
Yeah. Words are strengthened by imbuing their power into them, which Walter learned how to push his power of the force field into wards, like Amani pushes hers into her wish powder. So now Graves
So
cannot
even though
break
he's
them.
not strong, he
Right.
made his ward strong with his other power.
Right. He's not sure how he learned this. He explains he's a tech guy. He thought he could program his magic. Also cool.
That
Nerd
is
alert.
pretty
Just
cool. I'm
kidding.
not gonna lie.
Yeah.
When he was talking about that, I was like, dude, that's
Yeah.
awesome.
I like this more like modern aspect to it.
Yeah.
Um so he as a I guess burned out warlock, he was able to find a way to be valuable. Specifically
She
down to
respects
King
it.
Louis. No, about Walter.
I was saying she respects that about him.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh.
Yeah.
And yeah, so now he is the protector of the third floor and the spear, potentially. Because we don't know for sure
Yeah.
that it's there. They go over a list of things that they need to do for recon, find exit, blah, blah, blah. And then they have a brief flicker of closeness. And she's again kind of wondering, are we going to acknowledge what happened the other night? She thinks that he's about to, but before he can, there's a knock on the door, and Kingston arrives.
I forgot who Kingston was at this point. And I'm
I
glad when we
100%
went back
did too.
through it, I remembered that Imani mentioned him, but they still didn't say who he was.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then
Well, and I was
Pierce
so
acts like
thrown
she
off.
knew who it was
Yeah.
because she was.
She's like,
yeah.
so this is the infamous Kingston. And I was like,
Yeah.
infamous? I don't remember who this guy is. Like, where
Okay,
have I
I'm glad
been?
it was all of us then, because I was very much like, oh, definitely like
Am I supposed
get
to
into
know
that
this guy?
chapter.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Nope.
No, I just picturing this guy.
I know.
So he introduces Kiers to as his apprentice, which she's a little like, oh,
Can I agree to
interesting.
this?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's like, say what?
What about Kingston?
And yeah. And then also Kingston to her as his mentor. And Kiers and Kingston are just kind of taking jabs at Graves. Kingston goes off to get a drink, and then Graves and Kiers have a little bit of a chance to talk, and they banter about this apprentice, and she's like, "Oh, I didn't realize." And he explains to her that Kingston's gift is persuasion. How Amani's is wish granting and Walter's is force field. Graves is knowledge. And he's interested to see how Kingston's gift will affect Kiers. So another test or data gathering. She catches a hungry look from Graves right before Kingston walks in again, and is like, "Hey, are you coming?" So
Can't
they
catch a
join
break,
him.
man.
Right? She's like inching. So they all join them. She writes that Edgar takes the papers away before Kingston can see, which I found to be interesting. Kingston is questioned her training and how she restores her quote reserves.
She's like, I don't know what the
Um,
fuck you're talking about.
yeah. Says she has immunity, and he's like, oh, so that's why he's keeping you hostage, essentially. She's confused about this recharging, and Kingston explains how he also has portaling, which is his lesser power, and the lesser powers take more energy to use. And you will feel weaker after you use, and you have to figure out how to restore so you aren't caught off guard, obviously, when you're weak. Kier's questions why he never explained this to her. And they continue to explain that it's different for everyone. Kingston's rejuvenation is art. Graves is reading, which makes perfect sense. Kier's is now like, oh, this all makes sense why it took so long to recover after the wish powder, and how she, couldn't even make it through the subways, etc., and decided to take the cab that night. But we don't learn what her rejuvenation should be or could be.
It's definitely gonna be her kleptomania.
Stealing things?
Oh,
That
yeah,
would make
stealing
sense.
things.
Like I'm definitely like it can't be anything
Or like
else.
strategize, like because she likes to do
And,
the
like-
blueprints and stuff too. Some
Or
part
if
of the
you think about it,
thievery.
remember it talked about like if you're not using it, you burn out and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like hard to
Yeah.
manage it. She's always had that outlet of like
No, but that would
managing
actually
it.
be making her have more power because it restores.
I don't know.
But she uses that time slowy thing.
Yeah, she
which
does
would
also have
use-
that.
Because that's the lesser
Yeah.
power, so it would be using more power.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So maybe those balance each other out.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Interesting.
It's a good thought.
Interesting. Which thought that she does not mention this still to Graves, that she has this super slow
Mm-mm.
power.
I
Mm-mm.
kind of feel like she doesn't realize it's what it is. Kind of like when we first started talking about it. It's like,
Dummy.
is it just in her head? Like is she just like,
At this point,
it's just
after
like
she
how
knows
I'm
she has
thinking it.
magic.
That's
and it-
true. Why wouldn't she put it two and two together?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because she actively tried to activate that when she
Right.
and
They were
Graves
sparring.
were
Right.
sparring.
But she's keeping secrets from us because she hasn't thought about it much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
I'm gonna need her to think more loudly.
I know. Kingston explains how he was essentially sent by Amani, tattletaling, that they were stolen from. And he is very curious that he called her Wren. We still don't
This
know.
interaction,
We still
that
don't know.
Montreal had a fit. Oh, sorry. I'm not trying to interrupt you.
No, you're
like,
fine.
Montreal apparently had a fit about
Mm-hmm.
him having a Wren. And he says, is she a Wren? Are you? But like, what does that mean?
Yeah, I know. I can't
What
wait
does
to
it
find out.
mean? Like, is a Wren
Um,
like its own magical thing?
It has to
So-
be something more important than
And there has
just
to be more
the
than one of
regular
them.
levels. Yeah.
And Kingston, I think, is going on the assumption that she is aware of what a Wren is, because every time she's unaware of something magical, he's like, what the hell? Like, should I take over your training? Like,
Mhm.
Graves, you are seriously lacking here.
Why does she know nothing?
Well, and it does add back into, like, are they choosing this? Because she's clearly not choosing to be a Wren, but a Wren is tied to Holly. So how could
Mhm.
he choose Holly and then them supposed to be, like, fated probably if she also didn't have, you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's just, details here. Anywho.
Yeah.
Let's see. Sent by Amani. He's very curious, blah, blah, blah. They want retribution. He reiterates to Graves that, yes, he's the most powerful warlock he has ever encountered, but that does not make him invincible. Because Graves is obviously like, okay, let's go. I'm
Mhm.
ready.
Come at me, ho.
Yeah. And then he's just like, says, okay, I've officially put you back in line now, so let's have some more bourbon. And Graves drops the bomb on him and asks, were they actually honest to you about the wish powder? And he's like, yeah, I know. She's doing a great business. And he's like, oh, do you know about her services here in the big city in London? And he's like, what? Obviously upset by this. And he explains to Kierce that magic is more volatile the further it is from its owner. which threatens all magic users. Like any other story, the greatest objective is to keep magic hidden. And so then they just end up sitting in the library, drinking and listening to all of Kingston's tales. And Kirsten's excited to hear more about Graves' secrets.
I picture her just like sitting in the corner, like, don't mind me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like just waiting to hear
Trying
more.
not to draw attention to her so that like maybe they'll say something that
Yeah.
I don't mean
To
to.
talk like she's not there. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was it. Any lingering theories? We covered quite a bit this episode.
No, that just raised more questions about like the
Yeah.
Wren thing. Because, you know, when you
Yeah.
think about it more, it's like maybe that's not just like something he calls his lovers. Maybe it's like something, a type of magic he's drawn to, a type of creature he's drawn to, or something.
Well, I probably must keep reading so that I can find
I mean,
out.
same. Honestly, there's no way I'm not
Yeah.
going to. That's all I've done today since I got off work. So I'm like,
I'm
all right,
supposed to read the other housemaid. But I'm like, maybe we do that on Monday. Anyways, all right. If no more theories to tie up, we will end this episode. It's probably a long one, but it's a good one.
Yeah, it is a good one. It's
Good
meaty.
one. It is. All right. Well, with that, we'll see you next time. Make sure you are following along. We are reading now chapter 33. And
I thought you were about to forget the name
on-
of the book again.
I know. I did. I was like, man, Hannah.
Sorry. All right.
Love you, sisters.
Love you, sisters.
Bye.